welcome back to the Roger News channel and to another episode of our Clone Trooper Marathon. This time we're reviewing the Star Wars Black Series Clone Commander Gree from the Red Line. Looking at the front of the box, I can already tell that this is going to be a really cool Clone Trooper to review. Looking at the Star Wars Black Series logo up on top, you also get this massive window showing the figure and the accessories as well. This awesome sketch of Gree, and of course his name on the bottom corner. You also get his name right here on the side of the packaging. And on the back of the box, you get a description, the awesome portrait right here in the background, the Star Wars Black Series logo, and some warnings here on the bottom. Here on the side, you do get his name right here in smaller and larger font. There's some warnings on the bottom and nothing on top. So I'll go ahead and get him out and we can see what he's all about. And here he is out of the packaging and taking a closer look at Gree. Again, really great job with the attention to detail and the overall look of this commander. This is actually my brother's favorite clone commander throughout Star Wars, so I'm really happy to finally review it here on the channel. But yeah, let's go ahead and start from top to bottom and get this review underway. Looking at the helmet, it looks fantastic. I always loved the overall look of different companies, things like that, as far as with the clones. And Gree here, he looks fantastic right here with the green visor that we see throughout the film. This awesome like silver coloring going throughout the helmet. He also has some like lime green right there. This darker green up on top looks really good. And of course, he does have movement only at the top of the head, which is a little bit of a bummer, seeing that it doesn't really move quite as much as I'd like, but still you do get some decent movement. So he does kind of go side to side and not much up and down because there isn't really a lot of space underneath that helmet, as you can see. Looking at the torso, he has a very interesting torso compared to the other clones that we've reviewed so far. So as you can see, he has almost like these like straps right here on the side of his chest, leading down right here below the belt. But the back is really interesting. So he has like this communication device or like this sort of like thing with a antenna, basically like a radio of some kind. But the straps do continue right here, and they do have some straps up here along the side of his arms. And look at this. He has two of the grenades right here, and neither of them come off, so I'm a little bit bummed out about that. But the more impressive part about his torso has to be the overall paint job. This is really cool seeing it close up. You can see the battle damage that has, been through and things like that. There's some pieces of the paint chipped off. There's some other textures of this different style camouflage with this black, the little brushes of green. There's a lot going on, and it's really cool seeing that they put a lot of detail inside this clone trooper. I also like how the shoulder pads have some chipping in the paint job, so that's really cool seeing, that attention to detail as well. And he does have a ball joint right here in the lower waist, so you get some pretty good movement, side to side, back, and forward. Looking at the arms do go up a little bit more than what Fox was yesterday, and that's due to the shoulder pads being a little bit less sturdy, things like that. So you actually get some pretty decent coverage. The arm does go all the way around. No butterfly joint on this one, doesn't seem. You do get a swivel right here below the shoulder, the double elbow, so it goes up pretty far. And of course, a swivel right here at the wrist at the hand. The other side as well. Arm sticks out pretty decent. Goes all the way around, as you just saw. Double elbow, swivel below the shoulder, and then you get articulation at the wrist at the hand. And again, I love the different colors that Gree has to offer, especially with the now a newer version of the camouflage running throughout his armor, being this more traditional style. So, of course, you get like this lime green, some browns, some different shades of another green going throughout it. So, it's kind of cool seeing all these different textures on just Gree's armor. Looking at the waist, he does have a green belt compared to the other white ones that we've seen before. Has that awesome camouflage look to it. And then, like I mentioned before, he does have those two grenades that do not come off. I'd like to see a clone trooper or a stormtrooper that actually has these removable grenades. And he does have some pouches as well running alongside his waist. And now moving on to the legs. Um, he almost goes out like to about there, not really into a split position, but he is able to go into a single position, as you can see, and legs go back pretty far. And he does have a swivel around the thighs, and looking at the knee joints, he does have double knees, so they go past a kneeling position. He also has like this little pouch or like holster right here on the side of his left hip, so it's kind of cool seeing that, but it doesn't serve any like functional purpose. It's just there for like a cosmetic look. And again, you do get that awesome camouflage paint job running down, his thigh area and the knees, but I love this clean gray color that runs throughout his boots right here. So that's really nice seeing the change of the colors, things like that. The feet themselves, they do point down, they do point up, and you do get some rocker ankles to get some cool action poses with the figure. And now taking a look at the accessories, he comes with a pair of binocs. Looking at the binocs, they're the ones that we see him use in the film Revenge of the Sith, and they look really cool. Have some sort of like beige color going throughout them. There's some green, and then right here in the lens, it is in this black color. And he is able to hold onto it very nicely. They are functional, so that's really cool seeing that, it goes pretty close to his eyes right there. Up next, he comes with a large clone rifle. Looking at the clone rifle, it's pretty much your typical clone rifle right here with the longer barrel, things like that. But one thing I did want to point out is this has a much lighter color to it compared to the other ones. It's not in the solid black. This has a lot of like almost like a cement gray or just a traditional gray. But it's kind of cool seeing the different shades of color that we've been seeing recently. And he holds onto it very nicely, as you can see right here. So it's really cool seeing him able to hold this rifle. And finally, he comes with a smaller clone rifle. Looking at the smaller clone rifle, this again is the more typical look and style that they use throughout the Clone Wars. And this one has a much darker look to it compared to the other one. So this one comes in a more solid black. And again, he holds onto the rifle very nicely. So that was an overview of the figure. Again, they did a fantastic job with Gree, and I'm sure my brother can agree with that. But in all seriousness, the overall look and style of the figure is spot on to what we see in the film. I mean, one glance and you already can see that they put a lot of attention to detail into the figure. The accessories, I'm really glad that they were able to put in quite a bit with Gree's figure. I think what would do him better is if he came with like the little hologram thing of Emperor Palpatine when he's doing Order 66. I think that would have made this figure even better. And he hasn't gotten a re-release yet, so hopefully, fingers crossed that he does come with that accessory if they were to release him in the Revenge of the Sith line. But yeah, if you can find this figure out in the wild or even online, and you're a big fan of Revenge of the Sith, definitely get him. He's totally worth it. And with that said, I guess I'll end it here and say if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. And I'll catch you all on the next one.